like I'm fresh out the water. Put that on my daughter, I'm dripping Mystique. Pin to the pad of my author and marathon jogger, been running for weeks. Yeah, I tell no lies, my eyes on the prize. You lose by choosing to blink. I found a treasure by taking on pressure and pushing myself to the brink. Looked in the mirror to tell me that I'ma be wealthy. I said I concur.
What's going on? I'm Bobby J. This is City Chapters Podcast. We're doing chapter 11 today with Analisa Martin. She's a CEO, boss lady, and founder of the Glow Co., which is located at 18 West Main Ave, downtown Spokane, right across from the Saranac. She considers herself a holistic esthetician and a business mentor. She does also one-on-one esthetician mentorship. She's working on something called the Money Magic course, which I'm interested in. And we'll just start with that for the intro.
Love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were born in Spokane, we discussed before.
Yeah.
I thought that I knew that, but I wasn't quite sure.
Yeah, I was born in Spokane. I've loved it ever since. I might be a lifer.
Yeah, lifer.
Yeah.
I think I'll be around for life for sure here, you know. Where'd you go to school at? What area were you raised in?
The Valley. I went to West
Valley
Valley.
girl,
I'm a Valley girl.
West Valley, though. West Valley.
West Valley's the better part of the valley, I feel. I loved it. I loved growing up around Millwood. That was my spot. It still is. I love going to Millwood.
Millwood's cool. Joe's spot out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is it actually called?
Joe's house.
Joe's house.
Yeah,
Joe's
with
house.
Chaz and Joe.
Yeah, Chaz and Joe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chaz was somebody I met probably before I started City Chapters. We knew each other somehow before. Can't really recall how, but then when I started City Chapters, he worked at Zoomies and was the general manager at that time of multiple Zoomies stores. So when I got in the Zoomies, me and him were like in contact because of that. So
I love
that's
Chaz.
when I really got to know him.
Yeah, he's amazing. I worked at Zoomies for a brief time. I worked at the mall a lot. I worked at Orange Julius, which was right across from Zoomies, and he and everyone would come get smoothies and hot dogs. And it was super cool to get to know Chaz. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah. So you went to West Valley. You play any sports or anything?
No.
Sports?
I was always I chose working through school instead of sports. Like if I wanted a job, I couldn't really hold it down if I did after school sports and stuff. So plus that was never really my thing. I wasn't really like into theater either, but I would say if anything, I would be a theater style kid. Like that was my vibe.
I did theater in high school.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I played in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I played Mike. What was the cowboy kid?
Wow.
I forget what his actual. It's like something Mike. I don't know, but yeah.
Fun fact about Bobby, theater kid. Pew, pew. I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
So did you, how was growing up? Like, how was the household? Was there, what was your experience growing up in your household?
It was amazing. I had a great childhood. My parents divorced when I was really young, so both of them remarried a few years later, and I grew up mostly living at my mom's house full time in the Valley. She remarried and had 2 more kids, so I have 2 younger half siblings. And then my dad remarried as well, and I gained a wonderful stepmom and 3 step siblings. They lived on the South Hill, so I spent half my time on the South Hill and part of my time in the Valley, but it was great. I feel really good about the way I grew up and love my family. All my family's here in Spokane, so we're all really close. And
were you the only child for your mom and dad?
No, I do have a brother. He's 2 years older than me. Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you started working young.
I did.
Why started? Why? What was it, out of necessity, or was it just what you wanted to do to
It was
get your own
just
money?
exactly just what
Yeah.
I wanted to do. I always, from age 8, was like, what chores can I do around the house? I
Mm,
want this money. I want to buy myself whatever I want.
mm.
So it really like I saved up from when I was 10 to buy my first car when I was 16. So did that.
What?
Yeah.
You started at 10 years old?
Yeah. I would save half of my
Jeez.
Christmas and birthday earnings every year into a savings account, knowing I want
What?
that car the day I turned 16. So I did
You had
that.
a specific car you wanted,
No,
or
just
just
a
a?
car.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
like, this
I'm
car
like,
is
you
going to
really had it laid out. Oh my goodness.
if I had my way, it'd be a G-Wagon, but I'll work towards that.
Ooh,
That's coming up.
G-Wagon.
That's
Yeah.
coming
Want to
up.
buy one of those?
Yeah.
Those are sexy.
Right.
Mm,
Yeah. So yeah, it really was just, I always wanted freedom. I wanted to not be held back. I love clothes. I want to afford all the
mhm,
clothes I want. I want to
mhm,
afford to travel if I want.
mhm,
So that's really just, I've always had this drive, and I knew that I have to earn it all myself if I want it. So that was kind of like day 1, 16, get a job, 2 jobs by 17, 3 jobs by 18, like just work
mm.
my way up over time.
What were those jobs you mentioned too? But what was the order of them? Like,
Yeah, so I worked at Orange Julius for my first job, which I loved. It was so fun, so easy and awesome.
mm,
The mall food court life, like, let me tell you, that was
yeah,
a community. Like, that was
yeah,
incredible. We're trading all the time. Like,
yeah.
we get some tater tots. Here's a little Orange Julius. So that was cool. And then I got a job at, can't remember if it was Zoomies first or Bohm Boutique. There was Bohm in the Valley Mall, which was a women's
Mm,
clothing boutique.
mhm,
And then when I was, at one point I worked at Zoomies, Bohm, and Orange Julius all at once. And
mm.
then I ended up working at a coffee stand when I was 19 and worked there for 5 years, which I loved that so much as well.
Which coffee stand was that?
Bean Me Up Espresso in
Beam me
Wandermere.
up, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
5 years you were there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so how did it come about that you got into like the esthetician world? Like, what were some of the things that led you to that?
Yeah. So I didn't always know that I wanted to be an esthetician. It was really like I always had a vision of owning my own clothing boutique or doing like visual merchandising or something in the fashion industry. And I wanted to move to LA to go to FITM, the Fashion Institute over there. And when I went to LA and toured the school, I was like, this is not my vibe. And I don't know
Mm,
if I could live in LA. So from then I was like, I'm going to just figure out a way to do it without school. I'm going to like make something happen in the fashion world without school. So
mm,
I always had the vision of the boutique. And then when I had my first facial one time, I was completely blown away with the way that it made me feel. And at the time, I mean, I've always kind of struggled with some mental health stuff. And like when I started getting regular facials, I felt like it really helped my anxiety and even
mm,
my depression that I was dealing with. And it just made me feel so good. And
mm,
then it just kind of blossomed into me wanting to provide that same healing for other people.
mm,
And so my greater vision just turned into the fact that I wanted to have a clothing boutique and I wanted to do facials inside, have a spa room as well.
mm,
And that's kind of like what I just started working towards and where I'm at now.
mm. I want to double back on working at these jobs at the mall. What were like some of the principles and things that you've carried on into your life now that you learned during those times? Do
Mm,
you have any things that stick out, from working at such a young age to, obviously being self-sufficient is something you probably learned pretty young.
yeah.
Like I'm going to figure out to get what I want. I'm not going to have to ask people for it. I mean, that's something that sounds like you went into it to develop or not have to rely on
Yeah.
others to provide you with the things that you want to get in life.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say um through all of my experiences, I really grew a love for human connection
Mm,
and like really feel that I sharpened my customer service skills, my interpersonal skills over time. And um, really to this day, I feel like why I can connect with my clients and customers now so easily is that I worked in so many different environments that kind of taught me about people. And
mm,
then really like I would say like the clothing boutique jobs that I had really taught me a lot about like the behind the scenes of what it takes to run a boutique. And that was kind of my vision all along is I wanted to work at clothing boutiques to see how it is that they run their business so that eventually when I would have my own, like I knew certain things to do. And so,
mm.
yeah, I feel like that's kind of what I carried with me from my experiences at those jobs.
You said one place was called Bohm.
Boom. Yeah, they're no longer there. They were there for a couple years,
Mm.
but they opened the store brand new. Like I was hired on as like the first members of the team, and
So it wasn't
um,
like a chain; it was
it was
local.
a chain. Yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
were based out of Utah. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Interesting.
it was very cute place. I loved
Yeah,
it.
and it
Yeah,
was just like clothing primarily,
yeah,
or
women's clothing. Yeah,
hmm. What years was this at the mall you were working at?
that. Oh, I don't know. I'm not good
Like
with years.
two
To the
thousands.
2000 like 11, 2010 to like
Hmm.
2000.
Kind of probably like right before the malls started really fading as far as like,
Totally.
yeah,
The malls were like hopping at this
popping
time.
still.
Such a
Yeah,
vibe. Like
yeah,
that mall life. It was
yeah. Man, I
being
loved the mall
16.
when I was in high
Yeah.
school, like early 2004 to 7 is when I was in high school, middle school, of course, too. Man, the mall used to be such a cool place to go. I was just thinking, like, it's kind of, you know how you have nostalgic emotions or things tied. I'm like, I just want to go. I haven't been in a Zoomies in forever, but I've
Right.
been going to Zoomies since I was a kid, and I'm like, I just kind of want to go into Zoomies right now. I was talking about it, like the smell, the vibe, the experience, like everything set up. It's just like I used to love going into a Zoomies.
That Zoomies
I
energy.
might have to be like, I might wander over there sometime. I just don't ever go to the mall no more.
I
Like
agree. Yeah.
I don't even know the last time I was in that mall,
Yeah. Same here.
honestly.
To me, it was just the other day. But before that, I was like,
Two
just feel
weeks
like a
ago.
stranger.
No, that was
But
forever. 2 weeks, I think. No, but it's
yeah.
right. Like I
Yeah.
feel like the downtown mall does really well still because it's set up different. It's like a different
Right.
thing going on there where malls just I don't know. I just don't even think about going to them. It's not
Yeah.
even on my radar of like somewhere I would go to shop
Right.
anymore.
Totally. I feel I'm super into online shopping mostly nowadays.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was at
Well,
Northtown the other
yeah.
day too, and I was like,
It's
yikes,
got to
like
be
it's
weird in there, right? Is it
it just
weird?
feels different. Yeah, it's
Does it
kind of
feel
ghost
just
town. Like,
ghost town?
yeah, it is. Bless their
Honest,
hearts. Yeah, it's like
yeah.
I think that we're at the end of an era of malls, maybe.
Yeah, something's
Yeah.
up. Yeah, and they're either something. It's not going to be the same as what we knew it as, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Maybe certain ones will still thrive because they don't have I don't know. I've definitely seen a lot of business articles on it, like what people are doing with malls that are closing. And so there's all these different ideas of what to do with these buildings, or you just, take them down. I just
Yeah.
like how long can Northtown maintain that space? But I know a new business or family bought Northtown within the last year or two or something.
Oh, maybe they're
And they
trying
have
to
new plans
make it
for it.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Well, yeah, that'd be awesome to see.
I have no
Bring it back
idea
to
what their
life.
ideas were, though. I didn't get that far.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if they even knew or were releasing that information yet. Have you been to
Mm.
the aquarium there?
No. At
I haven't.
Northtown?
They have one, I guess. Yeah,
Wow.
some kind of aquarium.
That's amazing. No,
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out sometime.
That's where I'm like, we should. I just want to rent a kid, and just so I can go to the aquarium. Like, yeah, this is my kid. How to take him to the aquarium? You know what I mean? But really, it's just because I want to go there.
Oh, yeah. That'd be awesome.
No,
Rent a
I'm
kid.
joking. You don't need a kid to go to an aquarium.
No.
But so yeah, I never worked like directly in a customer service job. Well, I did once, and I got fired pretty quickly because I don't do well with, and especially at this time when I was younger, I don't do well when a customer is acting above you or something.
Mm,
And this one lady did, and I said some choice words that probably equate to why I got fired, of course. But
I believe it.
um, that was like it. I think it lasted a week, and I was like, yeah, I will not do that again.
Yeah.
I don't think I would use those choice words now that I said, but I would, I just don't believe in letting people walk over you, like customer's not always right to me kind of idea. I
Right.
know a lot of people, in certain businesses like to practice that, but I believe everybody should be treated right. And just because you're the customer doesn't give you the right to treat people poorly because you're having a bad day or whatever. But you also need to make sure you're treating your customers right as well. So, there's that
100%.
balance, that synergy to try to find. But other than that, I always worked for my dad, and he definitely did not. I seen him struggle with things that would equate to good customer service at times, or things of that nature. So, but yeah, working in the car wash industry, basically, I was always behind the scenes working on equipment and stuff. So I never really got that hands-on experience with customer service until I worked at Zome. And that's really when I guess I started getting that real customer service with clients that I was working with. And most clients were easy to work with, but I've had to fire a few clients. One at Zome, I got permission to fire. I was like, I can't work with this lady anymore. And then very few since I started my own businesses, but I love the power to be able to like, I'm not going to work with you anymore if I don't want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the benefit of being able to be your own boss in certain businesses. I imagine that probably doesn't have to happen with you very often with what you do. Like, I wanted to
Yeah.
imagine, right? I mean, most of your people are coming in there trying to zen out and
Totally.
hopefully bring a decent attitude because they're already
Yeah.
right.
I feel very fortunate for
Yeah.
that because most people are completely excited when they're walking in the door. And
Yeah.
but I've definitely had to establish some boundaries. I mean, along the years, there's been clients that I've had to, I don't know if I would say I fired them, but things like they would no-show me or show up late, or
True.
their card gets declined or something like that, where I'd have to be like,
Yeah.
can't keep doing this. Please
Right.
respect me, my time,
Yeah.
and my business. But yeah, now I'm extremely grateful to be in a position where most people that find me now are in complete alignment with what I see as a dream client, like these soulmate connections. It was just this mutual trust.
Was that something you experienced more early on, like with those things happening you were talking about, like earlier on in your career, like
Yeah.
where people were trying to probably kind of take advantage of the situation or not taking you seriously as a professional?
Yeah.
But now as you've established yourself as a professional, you've kind of weeded out clients that they probably know they're not going to get away with that kind of behavior with you. You're busy. You got something amazing set up.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
that's part of it too, is coming into my confidence with it, is like, actually, if someone is late, like charging them the cancellation fee. Whereas before I'd be like, oh, it's okay. Maybe they are having a bad day. I'm going to just take the loss on my end, when no, like, to run a successful business that people respect and sustain yourself financially and everything else, you got to really like establish the policies and the boundaries. And so, yeah.
What's the cancellation like period? Do you have like 24 hour or
it used to be 24 hours. Now it's 48 because I'm just kind of
what
like
you need, and that's how busy you are. Because if it's like that person doesn't show, you could have filled that slot.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And it like, I'm so busy with clients all day that if someone texts me today that they can't come in for their appointment tomorrow, I'm with clients all day. I don't have time to like try and fill that. Yeah. So it's
48 hours.
48 hours is that magic golden, and most people respect that. So I'm really grateful. Yeah. Yeah.
I like that. All right. So let's double back again to you getting like your business is set up.
Yeah.
So you opened your first boutique. That was like your first entrepreneurial move that you made, you would say?
Yeah. Yeah. So I started my esthetician business in, I think it was 2018. And I was working out of, exactly. And I opened it in Millwood. And I also had a little clothing boutique set up there. So that was really, my first kind of entrepreneurial journey. And at the time it was a good setup and I learned a lot from it, but it wasn't my dream location. It wasn't an ideal location. It didn't have like a busy street front. It was kind of tucked behind in this little neighborhood. So I learned a lot through that process, and was there for a couple years, and then 2020 hit. And
how many? 2018 you said is when it started?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then in 2020, I think for a lot of us, it shifted how we feel about things. And so at that time I was like, I don't know if this is sustainable for me. I'm going to kind of downsize this a little bit. And I moved to a smaller studio on the South Hill where I was just doing facials. Didn't have my boutique anymore. And worked there for a couple years and was very heavily considering moving to Seattle because I just love Seattle. And at the time I was feeling like the community I was looking for, the dream building I was looking for, the lifestyle I wanted to live. I didn't know if Spokane was it for me anymore. I was kind of just feeling kind of stagnant and stuck. And then I just kind of got this itch to look on Craigslist for available spaces, and I ended up finding the one that I'm in now. And it was everything I could ever dream of, and it was in the most perfect location ever. And so I used that as my sign to stay in Spokane and kind of take a leap of faith and just go all out with what I wanted to do. And so, in February of 2021 is when I moved into the space that I'm in now. Yeah.
So how long did it take to go to esthetician school and all that?
That was a year.
That was a year?
Mm-hmm.
You do that locally, I'm assuming? At what school?
Glendale. Yeah.
And so what was the concept with the boutique? As far as like the clothing you were going to offer and stuff when you opened up?
Yeah, mostly vintage has always been my go-to, my passion, what I feel that I'm really good at curating. So, and that came from a personal, like I've always been really drawn to vintage style personally. And I like the sustainability of it, the slow fashion aspect of it, where it's, not mass produced, and just the timelessness of a piece and the history of a piece when you find it, just wondering, where did this come from? Like, is this from the 70s? Like, who wore it? And
who wore it?
Just, so that really excites me about vintage clothing. And so when I wanted to open my shop, I wanted it to be women's vintage clothing. And that's what it is now. So, yeah.
So in the first years, what were what were some of the challenges that you faced? We discussed some of the things with clients, but just like, what were some of the initial challenges you remember going through? Getting the space, dealing with cash flow.
Yeah, it was to me like I worked at a coffee stand still during the first couple years of opening my business, just to kind of have that
Offset.
exactly
Yeah.
have that like consistent income coming in. So
Smart.
for me, it was a matter of like trying to navigate like avoiding burnout because I was working a full-time coffee stand job from 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. every day was doing facials. So it was just like this lifestyle of nose to the grind until I can really, really build my clientele to the point where I'm comfortable leaving the coffee stand job. So it was like just a major couple year period of hustling and grinding, and I didn't really have much of a lifestyle outside of it. So I definitely like had some friendships fall off that weren't really understanding of my need to like just do what I needed to do and keep my blinders on. And along with that, yeah,
That
I
can
would
be
say
hard for sure.
yeah, it was tough. It was kind of like
How old were you when you started the business?
I was 23,
23.
22, 23. Yeah.
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 Okay.
So it
That's
was
an
like,
important part,
yeah, no, for
that we
real.
should definitely bring up. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It was the time where all of my friends were partying, having fun, drinking, doing their thing. And it was like I had kind of lived that lifestyle for a little bit,
Right.
early 20s. But I just knew that that wasn't what I wanted, wasn't sustainable, wasn't going to get me to where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And I just always kind of had this vision of, no, I want this out of life. So this is what it's going to take. And this is what I'm going to have to do. And so,
Smart.
yeah. Yeah.
Smart. I wasn't that smart.
Yeah.
I was that smart, but I wasn't that smart. Like I knew that, but I couldn't accept it. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I know that's what I got to do, but maybe I can figure out a way around it. Maybe I can figure out a way to do this, party, be that guy, and do this over here. And yeah, it never worked out.
Yeah. It's tough to find that balance.
Yeah, I can't balance it. Like I think it's very rare for somebody to be able to balance that kind of lifestyle and actually truly like feel happy about their life. Like people can do it, you know what I mean? But like they're not necessarily in joyful modes, even if you see them that way, like it's a rare breed that can do both and like have joy and party and work, and you're a special type
100%.
that do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not one of those types
Yeah.
at all.
No, exactly. And I think that something I've realized, I had a conversation with my friend the other day about like, I feel that I get so much fulfillment from doing what I do. And I feel so happy and in love with my day-to-day life that I don't need an escape. I don't need to go out on the weekends to have my fun because I'm having all my fun already during the week. So I think that that's just something I had to accept about myself, because for a while I was like, am I antisocial? Like, why don't I want to be out partying? Why can't I stay out as late as everyone else? Why do I hate the taste of alcohol? Like all of this stuff. And I just like, I realized that most people are kind of living okay-ish lives, or maybe settling for a job that they don't really love, and they use the weekends as their like escape time and their time to have their fun. And for me, it's like, I'm just really grateful to be in a position where I don't crave that escape to go party. And
I think that's probably due to the fact that you're living in your purpose, though.
1,000,000%.
Yeah. And like people that don't, I'm trying to do this new thing I learned this weekend at this personal mastery thing I'm at. Not speak for others. It's going to be hard for me, but basically for me, like I know, like I had ideas of my purpose but I'm still finding it. I'm reading this book called Ikigai. It's the Japanese word for your purpose, essentially, is what it translates to roughly. It's a weird translation, but essentially that's what it means, your purpose, right? So um I've thought I've had my purpose here and there, and I'm still sifting through it. I think I have a general concept of my purpose, but I don't feel like I'm really sitting in it yet. um and like for me during those times, like I've always been seeking my purpose. I've always felt that I have a purpose, but it's hard to like make the right decisions when you like say the decisions you need to make. Those are going to be the better decisions, and maybe that is living in your purpose. Like making the right decisions could be living in your purpose potentially, like if you are wise enough to make those decisions by just the inclinations, like, oh, I shouldn't go out, I shouldn't drink like this, I shouldn't be around these environments. It might then lead you on to your purpose if you're wise enough to make those decisions. But if you're not wise enough, if I wasn't wise enough, I was like, well, I don't know what else to do, so fuck it, like I'm gonna go drink, I'm gonna go do this thing and socialize, and you know um cause a lot of just like prolong what I need to get to. So for
Yeah.
you to have that wisdom and like understanding at a younger age, to be able to start a business so young, and then just be so in love with your mission and what you're trying to do, that's rare. You know what I mean? Like that's not something a lot of people get when they start a business, or especially somebody so young. So that's really amazing that you had such clarity on, like, I don't need to go out. I don't want to go out. I'm having a blast doing what I'm doing. I'm getting all the fulfillment I need from what I do for business. And that's what I'm looking for. I still haven't found that. Other than this, I love doing this.
Yeah.
Doing the podcast is something that I always um or talking with people. That's something that I'm like, yo, I love this. I love this when I show up and I get to talk to great people. Like, I love this part. This is like,
Yeah, I can
this is,
feel that. This is
yeah,
this is
yeah,
incredible to
yeah.
even
This
be
is,
here.
so I
Yeah.
guess I maybe I'm having a re-epiphany, though. I forget sometimes when I'm away from the studio and I'm not doing this every day that I love it so much. But
Yeah.
when I'm here and I finally get here, because I'll get anxieties before, like, should I be doing this? Blah, blah, blah. But then when I get here, I'm like, nah, this is awesome. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
You're out here doing it.
yeah,
It's incredible. I'm honored to be here today too. So thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you. I'm honored to have you for
Thank
sure.
you.
So tying back in, so you kind of were having some struggles, it sound like, with losing some friendships. That was like part of starting a business, of some of the things that were kind of some of the harder parts of learning, like, all right, well, I'm going to lose friends due to this because they're not going to, they want to live the way they do. I got to live the way I see that is best for me.
Yeah.
And you did that.
Yeah.
And I commend you for that, because that was one of the hardest things for me to do. And it was until, like, honestly, like probably 3 years ago, I was still really struggling. Probably like 2 years was actually something happened with some friends while I was drinking, and I was like, no, I'm done with this. I'm done.
Yeah.
And I have been. I haven't been around environments or like things of that nature. Men, knuckleheads, just took me way longer to learn.
Yeah, but I mean, good for you. It's tough losing any kind of friendships, especially in your young years, your late teens, early 20s. You really rely on those friendships and that socialization, to be out there living your life. And that was just something that's also, like, business aside, my personality is that I really love solitude and alone time and independence. And so mixing that with the need to build the business, the friends that are still around to this day, like, are real ones who really, like, they know that when I have the quality time that to set aside for them, it's going to be amazing. And I just completely cherish those friendships that are just here to support me in all phases of life. And this quote comes to mind the other day that I saw, said something like, as you evolve, notice who says, I'm excited to get to know this version of you too. So, and that just like speaks to me because as throughout all the phases of my life, there's been some friends that just like, they're just down to ride with me, and it's just incredible. But yeah, and you just learn along the way too. It's like, all right, that connection maybe wasn't a real connection if you're not still here when, you know, at the end of all of it.
Yeah. I think learning about friendships while pursuing business, or really like separating yourself from a lifestyle that you were involved with, and then you start making changes that don't align with that type of lifestyle, and you just don't hear from people that anymore. You know what I mean? And there's the ones that you do, and there's the ones that you've been through all sorts of phases of life and you're still together. And I have those friends. Thank God that I have a few left from my past that are still my friends now. But I've lost most of my friends, or people I thought were my friends.
Yeah.
But I look at a lot of, you know, where those friendships stemmed from, and it kind of makes sense they're not existent now. Now, there's also, for people that listen that I don't see and talk to all the time, there's a lot of friends that I was around that we just don't talk like that anymore. But it's all love when I see them. You know what I mean? We just aren't in contact like we used to be. You know, so like all the people I used to party with, I'm not saying like I'm not friends with y'all anymore. Like I just, you know what I mean? I love everybody. And even the friends I've lost, I love them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it has nothing to do with that I don't love all the people that I've shared relationship with, even the ones where shit has gone wrong and bad. Like I still got love in my heart for them. You know what I mean?
Always.
But at some point, for me, it really just got and honestly, I've had the inclination since I was 21 to make the decision that you did. I just couldn't do it. I don't know why. I could have. And this is another thing. You can't go back. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is.
Right.
So you can only make your choices now. But it took me a while to learn, like, you can't barter with life, you know? So like what you feel, and it sounds like you were tapped into your ikigai, your purpose, your voice of telling you what you needed to do to get what you wanted. And you listened.
Oh, yeah.
You listened. I'm an idiot. And I didn't listen. I didn't listen. I mean, I would listen, you know, but then I'd fall back, you know, and like go party and do all that crazy stuff, you know. But in my heart, I knew what I needed to do, but I didn't want to accept it. I wanted to be rebellious against myself, you know. And I think that's part of what I've had to learn. Like, I've always thought of myself as being like a rebel, you know, but I didn't realize like being a rebel for me was like me rebelling against myself a lot of times by my behavior and the things I would do and put myself around. And it, you know, I've learned that out of respect for myself, it's just like I can't do certain things anymore. Like if I'm gonna love myself, if I'm gonna take care of myself, I can't say how other people feel about how they live, but I know how I feel when I would make certain decisions around alcohol abuse, partying, drugs, like in certain types of ways. I think like you can have fun and experience heightened levels of, you know, you can experience heightened levels through certain mediums, but there has to be some type of balance and respect of the way that you do it. And I grew up partying and around individuals that were like, honestly, it's just like dysfunctional behavior. I don't see how any other way we can get around it. And I think most people that have grown with me, that a lot of them have grown too, even the ones I don't party or hang out with or see anymore. You can see from a distance, like they're at least growing up in their own ways too. It's like you can't maintain that kind of lifestyle and still find happiness, success, and be there for your kids if you're, having kids at this point, or for your wife. So, um, I just say all that because I just amend you, because like there's a lot of people that can't make that decision for themselves. They want to do something and they know what they got to do, but they don't actually execute what you did. And you can see the
Yeah.
results of like how you executed that from such a young age, and the results that you're getting now, like
Yeah.
everybody that knows you, everybody that's seen your business, like everybody loves you. Everybody, at least that I know, everybody loves you. You know what I'm saying? And your business space is amazing.
Thank you.
You're gonna be teaching about magic money
Yeah.
soon, but I'm trying to learn about the magic money. So
Yeah, we can get
yeah.
into that. Um, I have just like always, to me, like money's never been a taboo topic like it is for a
Mhm.
lot of people. I've always just had a great relationship with money, and I see money as energy.
Mhm.
I don't see a limit to it. And
Mhm.
so I think that something that over the years of all the research that I've done and the things that I've tried in my personal life and business and everything that I've learned, I just am like, this is like gold. Like I've got something going on here. I feel really good about my relationship with money, and I
Mhm.
want to help other people with it as well. So, yeah, I think that like this course idea that I have is that I just have so many ideas and thoughts, and I want to put it into something for people to learn from.
Mhm.
And it's essentially just all of my philosophies and techniques and practices and manifestations and everything that
Mhm.
has helped me get to where I am today.
Mhm.
So that's kind of where that idea came from, the money magic
Money
course.
magic course.
Yeah.
Well, be looking out for that. I'm gonna be looking out for it.
Yeah.
Are you gonna teach men? 'Cause,
Yeah, anyone, all walks of life, come as you are.
are you gonna do it at your space,
No,
or
so
what are
it's
you
going to
gonna
be
do?
an online course.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's basically going to be just like modules to work through. Um I called it money magic cuz I just believe life to be magical in general,
Yeah,
but just
yeah.
that you can make whatever happen that you desire.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's something that people reach out to me for advice on, which kind of ties into the business mentorship and esthetician mentorship that I offer. Is people are like, how do you do it? Like, how do you have this boutique, this storefront? How do you also drive this car? How do you,
Mhm.
go travel? And I think that money is such a space of insecurity for a lot of people, or just something that a lot of people, I don't know, it's not talked about enough. And so
Mhm.
I want to talk about it.
No,
And
yeah,
that's,
it's definitely an insecurity for most people,
yeah.
even people with it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, it's true. It
Uh,
is. It's,
yeah.
yeah. It's, they, a lot of things that I've learned talk about, like, even millionaires sometimes like get to a point where they have all this new money, or now that they have all this money, they're still not like at the end of the day financially secure, because they're therefore
Mhm.
spending all their money because they
Yeah.
have it. So it's like,
Yeah, there's a great quote I've been reading a lot lately. I don't know if it was from this book, but basically, the more money you make, the more you spend. And so like
yeah,
people think that because like, oh, if I just make more money, that I'm gonna have more of it,
yeah,
right? But what really happens is you have a spending habit. Your spending habit and thermostat of that spending habit stays relative to the money that you make. So
yes,
you never really get ahead the way you think you are, because like if you're getting $100 a week, for small numbers, let's just say, like, and you're spending 99 of it, like, what are you
Exactly.
going to do with that dollar? You know what I
Right.
mean? That's not enough to really save up, make it multiply the way that you could if you were spending like a 60-40 ratio or whatever, and like you had your discipline set.
Totally.
So yeah, that was like one thing I learned. And that's like why, like you were saying about these millionaires, they get there and they're like, I don't understand. Like, I'm making all this more money. Like, I still can't, I'm still struggling with money. It's like, that's because your spending habits, like that
Totally.
money in, money out, make money, spend money. You gotta, that can be a tough lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like, emotionally. And there's
Yeah.
people that can do it and be good with it because they're not attached to it in the ways that others are. But yeah, money is emotional. You know what I mean? It's an emotional thing. You can't get away from that. So it's something that I'm trying to learn. The biggest thing that I want to learn about money is like not to be attached to money, but to use money, for experiences. Like, how do I attract the money for the experiences I want? Not how do I attract money so I got money and people see me with
Exactly.
money and I got success because I got money, but yeah, I think I've been starting to think a lot more about money again, and like, all right, how do I look at money? How do I learn about money? How do I, maybe shift perspectives on the way I view money? What are things that are holding me back from making the type of money I really want to?
Mm.
What belief systems do I have set that are, like kind of preventing me from making the money that I think I can make? There's all that stuff that's
Yeah.
tied up into money and like, a poverty mindset. And like, I'm not saying I might have a poverty mindset. I might teeter there sometimes, you know what I mean? Because, business is difficult, and to stay in your purpose about how to like be in your purpose and make money it's conflicting for a lot of people a lot of times,
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't know if I should be able to make money doing this or if I should, if that's right. There's so
Right.
many things tied with money in our culture. So I'm interested to hear your perspectives and like, when the module's ready and stuff, checking
Yeah.
that out. What books have you read about money that you really like? Do you have any?
Most recently, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind.
Mm.
And when you were speaking about just, like lack mindset that you might be in, it's all a mindset game. Like, it really
Mindset.
starts with
Yeah.
mindset. It really
Yeah.
does. And this book really hit home to me because I'm like, all right, how do millionaires think? Like the good
Yeah,
ones, like, and
yeah.
how can I think like that?
Right.
So that was a good one. And then there's also another one called Creating Money.
Ooh, I've heard of that one. I haven't read that one yet. I haven't read that one yet.
It's definitely
I
more
have
of
it
a
on my list.
spiritual. Yeah. It reminds me
Creating
of
Money.
that book one time
write
that
this
you
down.
showed me you were reading. Was this the Four Amendments?
The Four Agreements.
Agreements.
But then The Mastery of Love.
Yeah, something like
Did
that.
you get that book? I gave you that book?
No, you just
or-
showed me you were reading it one time.
I didn't give you a copy?
No.
Did you buy a copy of The Mastery of Love?
No. Do I need it?
Oh, I swear I was like, you have to have this book.
No.
That book, it has nothing to do with money, but that book is just a game changer.
Okay.
I'll buy you that book.
All right.
And get it
I want
sent
that
to you.
book.
Yeah. No, that book everybody should have. I
I'm
told him
excited.
about it, right? Didn't I tell you about it, Brendan, and you found it?
The War of Art?
The math. Oh, that's the one.
That's the
yeah.
one you
The
just
War
told
of
me.
Art. Yeah, that was book Rex. All right. Sorry, people. This is important. I'm taking these notes. Creating Money.
Creating Money. I loved that one
And-
because it's like the spirituality and the energetics of money, which is
Yeah.
huge. And it was what it all starts with.
What was the other one? Mindset of
Secrets of the Millionaire Mind.
Secrets. Millionaire Mind.
Another one that I purchased but have yet to read, but I've heard amazing things, is Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Oh, I have that and I've read that.
Okay, is it good?
Oh yeah.
It was
That's a
talking about the
classic.
thermostat. Like, is that
Oh
where you
yeah,
got that
for
thermostat?
sure. I think
Yeah.
that's where I learned that actually, now that
Okay.
you bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that thermostat. Where I was talking about that yesterday too, like where I'm just in life, like we have our own thermostat.
Oh yeah.
And so like why is it where you get near the next level of whatever you're trying to accomplish? Maybe it's just a general feeling in life of accomplishments that you're trying to get to, or you feel like you're at this breakthrough point, and then something happens.
Mm.
Something happens. You do it to yourself, something out of the blue happens, and it takes you back down, and you stay right in that range of temperature where okay, I'm back down here, build back up, you get to that same place. And really what's happening based upon these theories is like your subconscious is like, "Ooh, I don't know what's beyond here.
Yeah.
This is we're gonna enter into an unknown." So your
Mm-hmm.
subconscious attracts or creates something to bring you back down. You know what I mean? To a safe level where it's like, I know this space, and you just stay in that cycle of
Yes.
temperature raise. All right, we can't go past here. You come back down here, you build up. I've been in that. So it's like, this is the first time again for me because I'm 9 months without alcohol that I'm like, that's the second longest time I've gone without alcohol. I've done a year before. Now I've done 9 months, and this 9 months has been way different because it's been hell the whole 9 months, but
Mm.
I haven't, drank or anything. The first time I did a year, it was pretty amazing, other than a few little things that I experienced throughout. But really, those things that were kind of difficult didn't hold that much power because I just felt in my purpose in that year. It was like
Yeah.
the first time I'm like, I feel like I'm a man, I'm making choices that a man would, I started my businesses. Then I went to Costa Rica and oops, I went with Rizzuto.
Oh,
And it was his
yeah.
birthday. His birthday is on
Yeah.
New Year's. Well, he won the party. We partied. So
That's
yeah.
fun though. Yeah.
But so Rich Dad Poor Dad, that's a good book. And
Okay.
that's a really good book. That guy's a genius. Actually, we're gonna play this game that he created called the Cash Flow. Or wait, yeah, I think it's called the Cash Flow game. But he created like a board game,
Wow.
and it teaches you about money.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
So we're gonna play it at TS's studio, I think, coming up. Maybe if you want to come join us, you could. I think because their girls are gonna come, and it's just gonna be a thing we're gonna start doing on Mondays. But I was like, you guys have the game we were talking about it last night, so we should play it.
Yeah.
Because that's a game I've always wanted to play, but I never had anybody that I was like, they'll play that game with me. Or
I'd
maybe I
so play
did.
that game.
Yeah.
I'd so do that.
Yeah,
Wow,
so
that
it
sounds awesome.
teaches you about assets, liabilities. Like I don't know if it's like a
Oh.
Monopoly,
Love
but
it.
transferred over to this. So I just read a good book called The Psychology of Money.
Mm.
That was really good.
Okay.
It's short, but it's mainly about the emotions that we encounter and how we think about money and that kind of stuff, of course.
Wow, that's awesome. That's
So
good to
that one
know.
was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Rich Dad Poor Dad.
I've also heard I Will Teach You to Be Rich by someone. And I get his emails and they're pretty good, really informative. So that's a good one.
I'm gonna put that one down too. Have you read? I hope y'all like to read because this is what's important to
Getting
me.
into the books,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Yeah. So, Think and Grow Rich. That's another classic by
Okay.
Napoleon Hill. That
okay.
one's definitely. It's all about manifestation.
Oh yeah.
So
speaking my language.
yeah, and this is from a corporate type white dude from like the early 1900s, like studied people for 20 years before he wrote the book. And it's kind of an interesting perspective of manifestation because it comes from a total like white businessman, you know what I mean? Like to the core back in the 1900s, like early 1900s, like, and it's just kind of funny reading about The Secret, right? Whatever these people want to call it, manifestation, all these things, like from this perspective of somebody.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't think like these guys think like that, but
Right.
he talks about Henry Ford. He interviewed like a ton of people. Henry Ford, I think, a ton of moguls at that time. I forget his name, but the guy that started the steel industry, Carnegie, I think. So that guy was
Wow.
like filthy rich.
Yeah.
And this guy, Napoleon Hill, was always around him, studying him, asking him questions. And so he wrote this whole book about, Think and Grow Rich. So basically, yeah, it's just about manifesting money by just thinking about it essentially, and how you think about money, it's a great book. So I'd
Yeah.
recommend that one. I think I've read it 3 times. I'm going to read it again because it's one of those books you kind of just have to keep going back to really let it all sink in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Good to know. That's awesome.
All right, we're back. And we were talking about book recs, about money, and Annalisa's developing this course about money magic. So when are you going to release this program? When's the estimated time frame?
Yeah, I was originally going to be releasing it early October, but then I kind of pivoted towards a different business idea that kind of took priority. I was feeling a little bit more passionate and a little bit more on fire to start serving the esthetician community specifically at this time. So I have this group coaching program launching in October, and that'll last a couple months. So I'm going to give myself till the end of the year to complete the Money Magic course. And I really feel it'll be a good time to launch it at the start of the new year to kind of give people some inspiration towards a new money story, new energy on money.
Yeah, it seems like a great time to do it, with people and they're, wanting to do something new for the year, maybe have financial goals, and this could help them. So
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm excited for it.
Sweet. So you also were planning on a yoga studio in your space, which we haven't even really touched on her space at 18 West Main Ave downtown, right across from the Saranac. I said that before, but her space itself is amazing, gorgeous. Like she said, when she said she found it, that it was perfect. I mean, it is perfect. It's a gorgeous place. I've been in it a few times, and I mean, the way that she set it up is just, it's gorgeous in there,
Thank
and
you.
her room where she does the facials is gorgeous. I haven't got one yet, but it's on my to-do list. I need to make it happen. She's been encouraging me to come get it done, and I just been not doing it because, like I said, I'm a knucklehead. So I'm gonna get in there. But she had, the space is really big. It's really large. I was blown away the first time I seen it, and I was like, well, damn, how much money is she making for real? Because you know what I mean? Like, that's such a big space.
Yeah.
It's not cheap. You know what I mean? Whoever goes in there. So like, you doing this money course and teaching others how you think about money, and have established yourself into a place at really such a young age to be able to afford this type of space, to set it up the way you have, and all those things. Like, it just shows like, you are in position to help others understand things like this. You know what I mean? So I just want to acknowledge that, like, the space itself, ladies, if you're looking for somebody to give you a magical experience, like, we'll talk more about the mystical practices you like to bring, that more spiritual energy, because I love that kind of stuff, as you know. So I definitely will transition the conversation there after we kind of get done with the business more focus. But you have an amazing space, and when I first seen it, the backspace wasn't even filled or done anything with really yet. And I was like, damn, there's like all this back here too.
Yeah.
And at the time, you had an idea for a yoga studio, but you've shifted gears and you have a new idea for that space you're going to work on.
Yeah. So initially, when I was seeking out the space, I had a vision to have not only the clothing boutique, but an amazing spa room and also a yoga studio and kind of like a personal workout studio for myself. And so this space was absolutely perfect for that. And the back space that I ended up renovating, I turned 2 rooms into 1 room. We redid some flooring, installed some mirrors on the wall, and my vision was to have a full-on yoga studio. But as like at the end of the renovations, when it was all said and done, I was like, thought that I would have this super excited feeling of, all right, let's get some yoga going. And I just didn't. And I think that I was feeling my plate was so full with everything else that I am doing that I didn't have the energy and space to serve and teach yoga the way that I thought. So I kind of like at my 1-year anniversary event, just unveiled the new space to my community and they were able to see it. And from there, people started asking me, would you ever rent this out for a birthday party, a bridal shower, baby shower? And it didn't cross my mind to rent it out and open my space to other people. But I kind of was like, you know what? I think that's the direction that this needs to take right now. And so far, it's been incredible just through word of mouth. I haven't even done much advertising, but the space is renovated. It's set up to be whatever anyone wants it to be. It could be a dance studio, yoga studio. We've had a luxury picnic in there, which is cool. I've had a bachelorette party, a bridal shower. I have another bridal shower next month. And then I have a birthday party in like November. So
is there access from the back into that space or do you access it through the front?
That's a great question. Yeah. There is a back entrance, which we renovated and installed because there wasn't before. The only issue with it is that the back area is it's an alleyway of downtown and it's not the most aesthetically beautiful. So I don't want that right now, the way it looks, to be people's first impression when they come in. So right now they're walking through the front, coming through the whole shop.
Okay. I was just curious with like your workflow or like when events are transpiring, does that affect the flow?
So exactly. As it sits right now, I have to plan the events around when I don't have facial clients.
Gotcha.
Because my spa room is very closely connected to the back space. And I just have these wooden sliding barn doors. There's not a lot of noise cancellation. So far it's working out though. Nice, I mean, the way, So I think eventually when it seems right that I'll create more of a structure of opening up that back entrance and maybe having my assistant help me with managing that. But for now, it's kind of just flowing the way it is. And it's going really well.
Working. Yeah. That's awesome. When are because is it open on the weekend, like for events?
It's open pretty much anytime. If I have as much notice as possible, I can block off my facial schedule and can open it up. But so far it's been.
Do you do facials on the weekend though, I guess is what I'm asking?
Yeah, like Saturdays. Okay. Yeah. So gotcha. I take clients Wednesday through Saturday.
Wednesday through Saturday.
So
So Monday and Tuesdays are open.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesdays. Yeah.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
For sure. Those days are good days.
Right. But
it's a great location. Like, I mean.
Thanks.
It's a great location if you want to have an event, huh?
Yeah.
Sweet. I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I didn't even really realize that there was kind of a lack of space in Spokane. I mean, there's definitely a few spaces that you can rent, but I didn't even realize there would be such a demand for it. And I think also the way that I've curated it and decorated
I think it's your curation.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes it so hospitable. You know what I mean? Like so you hold an event there, it like you come in and it already feels special, you know? So, I mean, there's event spaces, but they're, you know, like
Right.
at the Grand or like, you know what, these places that, you know, do that
Right.
convention and all the just your space is beautiful, you know, so it makes
Thank
sense
you.
that that could work there. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
that's just another revenue stream, which is good. And so you were saying like someone could like host their own yoga class there,
If they wanted, yeah.
right? Like you
Yeah.
could have somebody that's like, I want to do yoga classes here every Tuesday.
Yeah.
And so
Exactly.
then it's kind of like you could, you know, if somebody that wanted to take on that role could do that, then
Right.
it doesn't have you involved with the day to day of running your own yoga class, but
Right.
you still are offering that opportunity to someone, which it makes sense, like to somebody out there that wants to get into it and have their own yoga class. Like here's an opportunity for that person,
Absolutely.
whatever it is. But we just using yoga as an example, but
Yeah.
because that would be a cool place for a yoga studio too,
Yeah.
like,
It really would. Yeah.
huh,
Yeah.
that's sweet.
Thank you. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when was it that you had your like first event? Like, was that this
Um
year?
yeah, I had my 1 year anniversary event where I officially like showed the space to everyone.
Hmm.
That was in May, and then in June was when I had the first people rented out, and it's been pretty much once a month, if not a couple times a month ever since then, that people have made their way to me and they're like, "Hey, I heard you have the space." I'm like, "Yes, I do."
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Can you access that on your website, like to get,
Not yet. No,
okay.
I need to. That's
Yeah.
something I need to update on my site and get some professional photos done to
Hmm.
show it, but mostly just Instagram.
Instagram.
Basically. Yeah, I've
And
posted a
so
few things here and there, and
if someone's interested, they can obviously call you too and be
yeah.
like, hey, we're interested in the event space. Just so people listening, if they're like,
Oh,
oh, I
yeah.
want to check that out.
Yep.
So we know how to get them to get a hold of you properly. So
Yeah.
email, all that,
Email, phone
call,
number,
Instagram,
Instagram. Yeah.
whatever way.
Yep.
But there's not a way to do it on the website yet.
Not
So,
quite yet. Nope.
okay.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Yeah. So I've heard from many people, and just like the way you show up, you're always glowing. You know what I mean? Well, let's talk about the name. I love names. I
Mhm.
love names. That's like one of
Mm.
my favorite part of like businesses is like the name. Like
Oh, yeah.
creating the name, thinking of the name, what the name means. Like I love that part of it. So yeah, let's talk about the glow code. Obviously, from my perception, it's like you help people glow. You know what I mean? Like you're bringing light to them. They leave glowing your space.
Yep.
But what does it mean to you? Like, how did you think about it from your own personal
Yeah.
development?
I love it. I would say I'm a huge name person too, and I
Mhm.
feel like the Glow Co really captures. I actually it started with Find Your Glow. That was my
Mm.
initial business name,
Mhm.
and that too is still like a very important part of the business because that's what it is I help you find your glow.
Yeah.
No matter if it's through a facial or an amazing outfit you come find or maybe a cool crystal you find in my shop, like
Mm.
I want to help you bring your inner light to life, like what's going to light you up and make you glow. And as I evolved and just kind of sat with it, I felt like Find Your Glow just didn't, I don't know, it wasn't sitting with me for the new space. I wanted kind of
Mm.
to rebrand a little bit when I moved into the new space.
Mhm.
And so the Glow Co just came about of like, I wanted to keep the word glow because that's what I'm all about is just
Yeah.
like what's going to make you glow, what's going to make you feel good. And the Glow Co just kind of rang off the tongue. It kind of like rhymes. It's easy to
Yeah.
say. It's kind of powerful, simple,
Mhm.
and it's kind of like up to how people perceive it. Like, is it the Glow Company, the Glow Collective, the Glow, like however
Mhm.
you want to perceive it? It's just like,
Mhm.
come here and I'll help you glow. That's
Yeah.
really the basis of it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, find your glow. that was the original business name, right? But I mean, it translates right into being your motto.
Right. That's
Yeah,
exactly like, I'm like, that's like you're right. The
yeah,
motto, like my
yeah.
slogan.
It's find your glow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have like 2 different Instagrams now. One is still Find Your Glow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really like my personal behind the scenes as a business owner, business mentorship, and still talking a lot about self-love and spirituality. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to keep that as my Instagram name because I just truly believe in that. And then the Glow Co Collective is my Instagram that I created just for the space to highlight the events, the products in my shop, the services that I offer. So yeah, I think they both flow together really well.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, the glow had to be there because that's what I'm all
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. The glow.
The glow,
Glow Co.
the Glow Co. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. The name works. The styling, the branding, it's all very well done, professional. Um,
thank you.
what products are you offering in like the boutique and like different products that you sell out of the shop? Because you have that part of the business too,
Yeah,
which is all in the front when you walk in. So
yeah,
tell us about like the products you're selling and
yeah.
anything that's really special that you sell that you believe in.
Yeah. So aside from the vintage clothing, I have a lot of course, skincare products. It's important to me to have clean, plant-based skincare products and body care products to offer for people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I really feel like the word holistic kind of encapsulates everything that I offer, from my services to my products, in that I love helping people with whole body healing.
Mm-hmm.
And so holistic to me just means like, let's treat your physical self, your emotional self, your spiritual self, and make it all blend together beautifully. So the products in my shop there's a lot of wellness products like herbal supplements, tinctures, tea,
Mm-hmm.
CBD joints that I love.
Mm-hmm.
And oh yeah, CBD joints. Um, and then I have like crystals and spiritual supplies to help people on their spiritual healing journey. I carry journals. Um, Really, like, the basis of everything is self-care and self-love.
Mm,
So these products that I provide for people are things that I've tried myself and loved and have really helped me on my life journey and healing journey and skin journey. And I just love to
mm,
share them with people. And so when
mm,
people come to receive a service from me, I want them to be able to kind of maintain those results when they leave, not just with their
mm,
skincare, but how they feel in that moment, like the zen and the relaxation and the connection to their body. I love helping them. Okay, here's like a crystal that you can set your intentions
mm,
into and move into the rest of your week with this crystal, or this body lotion, or this color healing spray, or this gemstone essence.
mm,
So yeah, that's
mm,
kind of, yeah, I just wanted to provide a space that you could come and find something that you're not really going to find anywhere else, and something very special. And I mean, it's definitely like not just a gift shop, but it's very gifty. Like,
yeah,
if you're trying to find a unique special something for someone that you're not going
yeah.
to find anywhere else, and that they maybe have never heard of anything like that,
Mhm.
my place is the place for that.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it seemed that way when I was there. I mean, you had hooked me up with some of those CBD joints before. I'd never seen those type before, and
Hmm.
I liked those. Um, I thought those were unique. You gave me a tea too that I had. So like those were like unique um products that I got from you. So you have obviously the services too you provide.
Yep.
Can you explain kind of like those services and how you think about them from your spiritual aspect and like serving the client and making sure they leave with the glow? Can you walk us through your process and how you think about the services you offer and the services that you offer? Because I think it's more than just facials, right? Do you offer, or is it just facials
Just
only?
facials. Yeah.
Just facials. So yeah,
Hmm.
can you walk us through the process of how you think about your facials and giving people that amazing experience that they have? And
Yeah. I just feel that my outlook on life is that life is meant to be very special, very magical. I want I know that we're all capable of feeling good and finding joy. And I truly believe it starts with loving ourselves, connecting to ourselves, and also like getting into the body and quieting the mind. And so when I really curated the facial services that I offer, I wanted to provide an experience that we don't get in our day-to-day lives because we don't often take time to slow down and
Mhm.
tune in to ourselves and connect with ourselves. And I just wanted it to be a space of healing where you come in feeling one way and you leave feeling a shift in your energy. And so the actual facial services that I offer are very relaxation focused. I work a lot with like relaxing the parasympathetic nervous system. I do a lot of massage. I incorporate meditation and gemstone healing into the facials. It's a very intuitive process for me. So when someone comes in, I just really feel into not only what they need externally with their skin, what can I help you correct, but internally, what can I help you heal? How can I help you feel better? So, yeah, the main service that I offer is called the Skin and Soul Healing Facial. And that's really just my signature. And it describes exactly what I want to provide for you is that it's like, and that's coming back to the glow is you're going to glow from the inside out when you
Yeah.
leave. Like you're
Yeah.
just going to just feel so good.
Yeah,
I
that's
just,
where the glow comes from.
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
It's the inside. It's your aura. It's your essence that glows.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we oftentimes in the hustle and bustle of the world, we just lose that connection of ourselves. And
Mm.
for so many women that come to me or individuals that come to me just feel disconnected from themselves and off track and not confident, low self-esteem, not feeling beautiful. And so if I can help you in any way, empower you to feel better about yourself in all aspects, internal, external, then I know that I've done my job. And that's always going to be my mission. So I think that another piece of it for me is helping with mental health and stress and anxiety that we all experience in our day-to-day life. And everything that I offer, the energy that I give is the byproduct of the healing that I've done on myself and my own journey and what's worked for me to feel good and be able to get off of my mental health medications and just like fully connect with my true how I'm feeling and feeling good day to day. So that's another part of it too, is like the
Wow.
stress relief.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you were on health medications and you got yourself to a place now where you're fully happy and joyful and you don't need that medication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Wow.
feels cool to like hear or say out loud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I from a doctor's perspective should be on mental health medication too, probably. You know what I
Totally.
mean? But um and sometimes I've wondered if I should, because of some of the things I deal with mentally, but I've always believed that you can find a way, you know what I mean, to figure out what's the deeper root of this. And um so to, you're speaking to what I truly believe in, but you're more living. It seems that you're more living in it than I am currently. And I just love hearing that. I love hearing that you were able to figure out a way to live life without those crutches or without what society tells you from the, big pharma. These are the things that you need if you're dealing with this stuff. And
Yeah.
like you look at the side effects of all those things, and it's just like it's crazy, and like I think it's becoming more accepted that what you give and what you teach is actually the way to heal. I think like I feel more people are waking up to that. I feel
Absolutely.
like that's more open. Like going to get a facial is going to be more healing than any amount of drugs you put in your body. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because it's an act of self love, investing in yourself to have a facial. Also, though, what I just love that. I love that mystic energy you bring to it. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Without that, it's not the same. You know what I mean? Without that, there's not the love. It's just a facial. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And I've seen that. I've even had a facial like that, and I enjoyed that facial. It was not a bad experience, but like I want that experience that you offer. And like I said, I've had friends that I know that have had facials from you, and they're just blown away. You know what I mean? Like I just
Wow.
blown away.
Thank
So,
you. That
you
makes me
know,
happy.
yeah, like your work is doing what it's supposed to. You said gemstones? That's what you
Yeah,
use,
crystals.
gemstones,
Yeah.
crystals?
Mhm.
What are some of the ones that you use?
Oh, I have
Like a whole
whole
array?
uh-huh. I have a
And you
whole
use
cabinet.
certain ones for certain things or feelings
Yeah.
or emotions or auras or
Yeah,
how,
absolutely. It's always
I don't know much about it all. I know, a little bit, but I
yeah.
just am curious and want to know more how you think about using them.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, I just can like I'm very empathic. I can feel into the energy when someone comes in,
Mm,
and a lot of times now with people during my consultation in the beginning, I'll ask,
mm,
like I'll get a feel for, and most people come to me, not some people don't even care necessarily about their skin results. They just want
yeah,
that the
yeah,
transformation.
yeah,
And so
yeah, yeah,
and I can always feel that. I'm like, all right, you're here for the gemstone part. So, all right,
yeah,
let me really dip into that for you.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just like I've gotten to know crystals and gemstones on my own
Mm,
spiritual journey and have found that they can just serve as companions to amplify whatever it is you're calling in for yourself or to
mm,
dissolve stress and anxiety. And
mm,
so, yeah, when someone comes in, I am just like, all right, you are, shortly after postpartum, you just had a baby, you're feeling kind of like you don't get a lot of time to yourself or you're depleted energetically or so I kind of just choose from there. Some of the main ones like amethyst is one of my go-to's that really helps you tap into your intuition
mm,
and your higher self, connecting with your greater vision and
mm. I'm
did you
thinking, I'm thinking of a stone that my aunt just gave me. I believe
mm,
it was amethyst,
yeah.
potentially.
Amethyst is one of my favorites. It's also my birthstone, but it's a good like
Yeah,
core crystal to have in your
yeah.
collection. Clear quartz as well. Rose quartz is my favorite. The stone of love, self-love. So I work a
Yeah.
lot. A lot of my beauty tools that I use in the facials are rose quartz. A lot of the decor around my shop is rose quartz because I'm just feel like it all starts with a love. Like
Mm,
just giving love, receiving love.
mhm.
All that matters is love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, so that
I'm
it's
learning.
really yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, I might have to get some recs from you on that too. All right, we're gonna
Yeah.
start making a list, people. Of, no, I'm joking.
Yeah, spiritual
You're gonna have to
RX.
bear with me because I'm getting into this now too. No, I'm joking. But seriously though, I might ask you and see what you might, because I got a few things like that in my room, but
Uh-huh.
I kind of want some more stuff,
Oh, yeah.
So
You gotta come get a facial and get, like, the full experience, and I can also feel into your energy that way.
let's make it happen. Let's get it
We'll do it.
figured out
We'll do it.
afterwards,
Okay.
after this, and
Mhm.
then make it happen.
Okay.
Um, so did you ever have a spiritual before you started the business, or like did you have the kind of experience from someone else that made you want to develop this, or did you not did you not see it being offered? And that's kind of what made this so special for the way that you do it. Like that you kind of curated this style of esthetician in a unique way because you didn't see it being offered.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I didn't really have, other than just doing my own research. There was a point when I worked at the coffee stand a few years ago that someone came through the stand and was like, I just had the most amazing session with my spiritual mentor. And I, at the time, was just getting into spirituality and essential oils and all this. And I was like, what's a spiritual mentor? And so I booked a session with this gal and really, like, it was pretty cool. In hindsight, like, I don't know. Yeah, I won't get into that. But like, it was cool to open my eyes to just a deeper understanding of your spiritual self. And she kind of talked to me through my guides, she called them, your angels. And she like can kind of read into what you have going on or how you're feeling. And at the time I was just kind of like stagnant. And this was before I discovered I wanted to do facials. And I was just like, I don't know, I'm kind of floating in space. I don't really feel that good all the time. I'm on medications, all of that. And so she kind of like opened the door. I had a couple sessions with her, but after that, I just kind of developed my own, just reading books and hearing people talk about things. And meditation for me was like huge. I could not live without meditation because it's my time to connect with myself and my essence and my higher self and feeling into how I'm feeling and processing my emotions and reprogramming my subconscious mind and all of that. So yeah, as far as like the experience I provide for others, it was that, I mean, I wanted to provide an experience that you're not going to get anywhere else. And same with my shop. I wanted to create my shop because I always wish something like that existed, but it didn't. And so maybe it's the Aquarius in me, just very innovative. Like I'm wanting to create things out of nothing or, provide an otherworldly experience for people.
Yeah. I love that because I think part of my purpose is getting to a place where I offer unique experiences for people and communities with city chapters. Like I want to curate events and things with city chapters that are like, you're not going to find this essence, this experience anywhere else. But if you're doing it like what we do at city chapters is going to be what we do. And other people are going to do what they do, but the way that we do it, you're going to know, the difference, you know what I'm saying? So, I
love that.
So like, that's a big dream of mine, because like all life is an experience, you know what I mean? Like that's all it is. Like we're just experiencing. And, I've always believed in, though I struggle with it at times, that you can create mind-blowing, amazing, beautiful, out of this world type experiences.
Like you can.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
And it's possible. And people do it. You do it. I'm not going to put myself in that category yet. I think I've done some things that have given people a glimpse, and I've given myself a glimpse that I'm capable of it. I think we all are to some degree of creating experiences for others, even if it's on a small scale, just for your, loved ones, your family, like the type of person you are and show up as, like, like that's you giving another person a part of the experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like, for me right now, I'm just focused on how do I just keep my energy in a place to like when I show up with others, my energy's right. You know what I'm saying? Like the experience that I give others is grounded, authentic, and unique. You know what I mean? Because I do believe we're all special individuals. And I think of myself that way, so I've been really in my work of finding out who I really am, you know what I mean? And separating myself from things that I know do not align with me anymore. And as much as there's a lot of gray area in where I'm going, that I'm doing that work is like the biggest thing that I'm proud of at this time. And that's spiritual work. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that kind of work is spiritual work. I put spiritual work above my business work, you know, because if I'm not right spiritually, then my business isn't going to be doing what it's supposed to be doing,
Exactly.
you know. So I feel like I'm getting into a good spiritual zone again with me living good, because like I've been through a lot of temptations or things lately that I've overcome, and I'm still on track and making the decisions I want to do for myself, you know. And like I believe you got to prove that to yourself, and you got to prove it to the universe sometimes too. Like, no, I am ready this time.
Yeah.
I am listening, you know. I am not rebelling against myself anymore, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think there's some things finally coming back around, but and who knows, maybe that facial I'll leave there like I know, or like I'm gonna be feeling a whole new thing, you know what I mean?
That would be the
Yeah,
goal.
that's the
So
goal.
I'll do my
No
best to make that
expectations,
happen.
no
Yeah,
expectations.
exactly.
I don't have expectations on anything, but you know, but I love the new experiences. I love putting myself into um new experiences like what you offer. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And um seeking like spiritual experiences, you know. And I've seen your room, it's spiritual.
Thank you.
And that room is spiritual. You walk in there and you already feel good. You already feel like you just transported, you know, into something, you know, out of like Avatar, like, you know what I mean? Like they got those beautiful white like flowers hanging from the ceiling, and
Yeah. Yeah, that's
yeah,
what I wanted, I wanted it to be an experience, not just a facial, and I wanted you to
mhm.
feel like you're walking into a sanctuary where you can
Sanctuary, yeah, sacred,
escape. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
sacred space for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for recognizing that. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. It is. I mean, it is. It is amazing. We can't talk it up enough. Everybody that's been in there says the same thing, you know. So,
Thank you.
um, so you were just saying, if you want to, if you're okay with talking about it, we were talking about off camera. You had this experience in LA, and
Mhm.
are you okay with talking about that experience? And because we didn't really get to finish it off camera, so you took a trip to LA to do a kind of a self-care vacation.
Mhm.
You got a facial down there from
The skin
the
witch.
skin
The
witch.
skin witch
Got to hear about this. And then you
had
did
an
some
energy healing
energy healing.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Tell us about
and a
those
massage.
experiences.
Yeah,
Ooh, and a
so
massage.
and it was a whole thing. Yeah,
Nice.
shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do. I'm inspired by what a lot of people are doing in LA. I feel that it's a great place for me to go get inspiration when I need it. And so
Mm.
I try to go every couple years. It had been a couple years before I'd been last. So I went this year and really just made the whole trip into how can I fill my cup, because I'm constantly giving and giving and giving, and I just could feel myself teetering with an empty cup. And I was like, all right, let me go just gather some inspiration. And so yeah, I booked a facial with this gal in LA, which was amazing. The skin witch. Yeah, it was definitely like an ideal experience to receive as an esthetician who's constantly giving, and to just be able to surrender to it and know that you're being taken care of and it's going to be a great experience. That's what it
Yeah.
was. So
Yeah.
I'm really grateful for that. She did some face reading, face mapping, where she was able to look at different things in my face and say, you know, this is why you're breaking out here and this is how we can help it. And so I was really inspired by that because I've done that a little bit in my work. Is I'm familiar with face mapping, where I can look at someone's acne and say, well, this zone you're breaking out because of hormones or XYZ or stress. And so going and receiving that was great on a personal level, so I could learn more about my own skin, but felt very inspired. And now I'm starting to offer a similar situation when people come in, where I can really read their face and know on a deeper level why they may be experiencing certain imbalances. And from like a traditional Chinese medicine perspective.
Gotcha.
So it's once again that holistic, like everything's interconnected. When there's something imbalanced internally, it's often going to show up externally for us to be able to understand it. I feel everything is a messenger for the body. So yeah, the facial was great. And then I had a massage as well at this really beautiful little spa in Venice Beach. And then I had this mind-blowing energy healing session with a gal named Rachel Bloom. I originally discovered her flower essence tinctures in this shop in Portland a few years ago, and then have just followed her journey ever since and felt really connected to her and her offerings. And I was exactly right for how our interaction would be. Like the moment we saw each other, she was like walking down the spiral staircase and we like started crying. Like we hugged and we were both just like crying. I was like, I've never met you, but I'm crying. And it was like this like homecoming to like a soul, like almost like, is this woman my twin flame? Like it was amazing. So just from the get-go, truly, I don't even know how to really describe it into words to relay the experience I had with her. I just know that it was the best energy healing experience I've ever had. I could feel the energy moving through my body, like as she was doing her thing. She was able to like look through me, like to my soul, and say, this is why you're feeling this. And ultimately, the theme of the entire experience was that she told me that like myself was craving my own love more than anything else. So I walked away from that experience like just knowing that the basis of everything is self-love. And I was just really re-inspired to dedicate more time to my own self-care and self-love. And ever since then, I can definitely notice a shift in my view on myself, my confidence, my self-esteem, the way I take care of myself. And so yeah, anyway, it was a wonderful vacation. It was very wholesome, filled my cup, and I just came back completely re-inspired to provide for people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds like one vacation.
Totally was. Yeah. It was nice.
I'm all about, I want to get so much further into like the ritualistic, woo woo stuff. Like I love it. I love Jidena. Have I shown? Do you know about who Jidena is?
No.
He's an artist, a music artist, but he's just an awesome dude. I love this dude, man. But he's all about the ritualistic stuff, you know, and trying things out like that. And I just love that stuff. I love that mystic side of life, you know, and that energy healing. I mean, man, I'm just like, I don't want to say envious, but that's the word that comes to mind.
Oh, yeah.
But it shouldn't be from envy, because I have that opportunity to do a thing like that for myself, you know. But that experience is like, man, I've been looking for that, but I've been looking for it on my own, you know. I try meditation. I need to just be a little bit more committed and give myself more time to meditate more. I've been finding my meditation in just reading right now, like, because I think there's many forms of meditation, right? So for me, like, I just feel like I'm gaining the most from forcing myself to sit down and read.
Yeah.
I'll take short moments to meditate, and I get my benefit there. But one book I am reading is all about meditation. It's called Becoming Supernatural. It's with
Mm-hmm.
Doc, you
Joe
know,
Dispenza.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, yes. Have you read the book?
No, I'm just very
Yeah.
familiar with him and his work.
Yeah.
It's
So
amazing.
I am reading that book. It's been a book that I've been taking a while to read because it's a lot to digest.
Right.
I don't find it's like the reading is hard itself, but it's just like a larger book, and I've just been reading it chunks at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the one thing for me. I read books, I move on, right? And a lot of books, especially in the self-help or whatnot, have call to action. And like, that's right. I've had to go back and read books again. It's like, all right, I got to put what I learned this time into effect, sit here and practice it. He gives like several meditations for you to try,
Mm.
and work. And I've tried them all, I believe. Maybe not the walking meditation one, but it's like, yeah, I tried them, but meditation it's not about getting it right. And I understand that it's not about having this crazy experience the first time or even after 100 times. It's just about, like you said, like slowing down, putting your mind in a space where it's not on this frenetic energy, go, 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 go. I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta be here, I gotta dot, dot, dot. You know what I mean? Like that's what um if you're in that mode all the time from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, it's not healthy for me. I feel that it's not healthy for me. So reading for me has been like taking that step back and just like, I'm gonna read because I can actually feel myself becoming more intelligent when I read, and so
Right.
maybe it's because I actually feel more that I'm getting more from reading, so I'm using that as like my way to be like, well, this is gonna have to be my meditation for right now, or my form of like taking my time to sit and learn, because I learn about myself when I read, and so
Yeah.
that's what you hope to learn when you meditate. But I really want to get deeper into the meditation realms, and work with my subconscious there, because what's cool about Becoming Supernatural is this is all science
Yeah.
backed. Like Dr. Joe Dispenza is a scientist, he's a doctor, like he has all the science to back up why meditation works, how it works, how the brain works, like all of that. So it's not like just some woo woo stuff. Like he's breaking down walls of knowledge like people didn't understand before,
Yeah.
like, no, this is why it actually works on a scientific level. So you can't you can't deny it from a scientific standpoint if you believe in science, at least, like this is case studies. These are things that really prove why meditation works, how it
Mm-hmm.
enters your brain waves in the different states, whether it's theta, alpha, these different brain states. So, um, I really, I really believe you can manifest anything you almost want in life through meditation and through learning how to, rewire your subconscious, but like,
Exactly.
and I'm working on it. You know what I mean? Like, and I suppose I will always be working on it.
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't think enlightenment or nirvana and these things mean like, oh, it's all done and you don't have any more work to do on yourself.
Right.
I believe enlightened people still get pissed off, but it's what they do
Absolutely.
with that emotion and recognizing that emotion. I think one of the bigger things for me is like realizing your spirituality comes from how you control your emotions. Like when
Yeah.
you are out of control of your emotions, it disconnects you from your spiritual essence.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you feel that same way? Like, do you relate to that at all?
Yeah. Say that again.
So I feel like if your emotions are out of control, you don't have control of your emotions. Um, and I'm going to say more like negative emotions, whether that's, fear, these types of negative emotions, anxieties that we all deal with. If you let them run rampant, that is disconnecting you from your spiritual self, your essence. Like,
Oh,
to,
absolutely.
so for me, like learning how to control my emotions, specifically my anger, that being the one that I would imagine probably most men have, that could be the one of the hardest ones. I'd say fear too. I think fear goes for all of us as humans. Um, but anger for me, I think has been my biggest one that's caused me a lot of disconnect from my spiritual essence, and like getting reconnected with it uh, is proven difficult because I hadn't learned maybe how to not be angry until the last few years, and now
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not angry and I'm not making emotional decisions based off of that emotion, and most decisions you make in anger are going to be a negative decision. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
whether in most of those decisions would be towards myself, you know what I'm saying? Like, not towards others necessarily. Those negative emotions I make in, or decisions I make in anger, would be towards myself. And you can't connect with your spiritual self if you're hurting yourself constantly. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
there has to be that, there, you have to make that room, or not you, I have to make that room for the space to make the right decisions, um to allow my spiritual essence to get strong again. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To be like, to feel that your spiritual essence is respected, because I think your spiritual essence wants to feel respected. Your soul,
Yeah.
what's in you, wants to feel respected, like, and that starts from yourself, because the soul and the body, the human, the vessel that we're in, they're not the same thing.
Right.
Like, the human mind is not your soul.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so the human mind and its needs for what it thinks it wants to do is not what your soul wants. They
Right.
want two different things. And that's why you have the two voices. You have the voice of the body, and you have the voice of the soul. And
Yeah.
like, um I, for a long time, definitely was listening more to my body. You know what I mean? Like, the worldly things that my mind thinks it wants. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? But my soul, it wants completely different things. And like, for me, I think that's where my depression really stems from for how I see why I have depression, is because I'm not living in tune with what my soul really tells me I should be doing and what I want. And I'm living more over here in my body mind, trying to get the certain things for the wrong reasons, and trying to get attention for the wrong reasons, or you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I've had to step back and really put in work on getting reconnected with, like, okay, well, what does my soul really want? How do I actually listen to it? How do I stop doing this to myself? Because all I'm getting is pain from what I've been doing, listening to the body, So when you do and go and do spiritual energy healing and stuff like that, like, that's a cognitive choice to, like, I'm gonna try to help my soul out.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Like, regardless of what you believe in, like, taking those steps is like, it's going to make you feel better about yourself, because it just shows yourself, whether you don't even want to be on the mystical sides of things, that you care about yourself.
Right.
Because most people, like, it'd be maybe hard for them to think about doing that for themselves, because they have to do all these other things for their family, or they don't have the time. Obviously, time is a hard thing for all of us. And it's easy for me to make up excuses about why I don't have enough time,
Yeah.
or I don't have enough. I don't have enough.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I don't have from that scarcity mindset.
Right.
So I just, like every time I'm around you, I learn something, um, and I just think you're like and I know you're not perfect, nobody is, but like, I think you're a prime example. I've never seen you not be perfect, just to clarify though, like, I haven't seen it. So you might be perfect. I don't know, but,
Thank you.
um, but, you're just like a prime example of like how you want to see people in the world. Like, that's how I really do feel. Um, Everybody I tell you, or I tell people about when I speak about you, is like, especially women, because you know, I know you can help women, specifically. I know you can help men too with facials. And, obviously there's that macho stigma about men getting facials, which I think that's disappearing
Yeah,
more as well too.
it
You know
is.
what I mean? Like, I, I'm like, I consider myself a stand-up man, and the stand-up man needs a facial,
100%.
Like, so,
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
yeah,
love that.
yeah,
It's like finding a bit of a balance between the masculine and the feminine
right.
energy within you. We all have
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
The masculine, even women spend a lot of time in their masculine, and that's the
Oh, yeah.
giving, working, doing, achieving,
Right.
learning in the head
Yeah.
energy,
Mm,
and the feminine energy is that receiving, feeling, being, body. And so I
mhm,
think that when we all can find that harmony between the two,
mhm.
that's where the magic lies.
I think so too. I agree 100%. I definitely have been trying to, I don't want to say trying, I have been practicing that, like merging how I can allow my feminine essence to merge with my masculine essence. I think I, at one point, through experiences, like tried to mask any feminine essence I had, because that is more a man's vulnerable side. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like,
Mhm.
and it can be seen or taken advantage of. Same thing with women. It happens to women too, of course. But for me, like as a man, I'm like, no, I ain't gonna show those sides of me, because that's weakness. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? That's how I would perceive it back then. But I feel that I've worked through enough of that to understand how to blend them and not feel any weakness in it either. Like, I feel strength in that now. But it took me a long time to understand how to merge those two, and understand that having femininity is not being a female. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, that doesn't, like, just because you're feminine and you have feminine traits, that doesn't make you, like, as a male, that doesn't make you a female. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you still a man, you still a male. It's just that we have these different characteristics as a human that we should be in touch with, and you shouldn't
Yeah.
suppress. Um and there's a lot of ancient cultures where the feminine was celebrated. Like, that was what kept everybody together, and the men knew
Yeah.
it. It always hasn't been this patriarch society that we live in. And obviously there's things that are changing now with, women rights and equality matters and all that, as it should, because we all should live and understand that we all bring something to the table, and we all need each other to make this all work out.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I'm uh I'm excited about the my experience that I'm gonna have,
Yeah.
because it's long overdue.
It
And
is.
I uh I feel like I really do need an energy healing type of thing. So
Mhm.
start with this.
Yeah.
Um
And to circle back to the experience I had with the gal in LA, she does offer virtual like energy sessions. And
yeah.
anyone listening to you, I highly recommend this woman. Just I really can't explain it. I don't even know if I would just call her an energy healer, shaman. Like, I don't know. She just has something very special. She is out of this world. And just, I have goosebumps even thinking about her. And I feel anyone should experience, just no matter what you're going through, even if you're not going through anything and you just want to amplify your current reality. Like, definitely recommend it. So
she does the virtual, huh?
She does.
Maybe I'll check that out too.
Yeah.
I'm more like, I have a hard time with virtual though, because I like,
I get it. I get it. Same here. I mean, I've had a few virtual sessions with people, but it's that in-person experience. There's nothing like I will be flying to LA probably in February just to see her again.
There's nothing here that you know of locally that you've experienced.
There's one gal, not similar, where there's like body work and she's touching me and stuff, but there's I don't even know what I would call her. Her name's Autumn. She's like a medium of some sort. And anytime I'm going through anything where I'm like, I just need some answers, she talks to you through your team, your higher self. So you go and she's like, your team's telling me this is why this is happening. And it completely resonates so much every time.
I want to check that out.
That you would love that.
I want to check
it out. She's booked out forever. But like, right. No, she's that good. She doesn't have any social media or anything. It's all word of mouth, but she's good. She's good.
I don't care how long I have to wait. I'm all about that. Because actually Napoleon Hill, he talks about that in the book. Like, you having a team of people that look out for you. He even like suggests, like in that book, like you imagine people that have passed away that are people you would want advice from.
Yeah.
So it could be, who he lists off people that he suggests, for his experience of people he thought of, and they were like people that were very successful that passed off, but he believes you can get information from those people in their afterlife. Yeah. So like you would like Henry Ford, like, man, I want to talk to Henry Ford about some of the problems I'm facing in business. And you could talk with these people. That's what he believes through Think and Grow Rich. And that's like a part of, he calls it the council, or I don't know, something like that. But like, so I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I would love to, know more about what the hell's going on with my team and what I need to do.
For everyone should know what's going on with your team. What does your team have to say about your situation? It's my grandma even is like not that she's a non-believer, she's just a total realist. And when I told her about my session, I got her one for Mother's Day, and she went and she was like, I'm a changed woman. That was a life-changing experience with Autumn here in Spokane. So nice. Yeah, I should start there. Facial first, then Autumn.
Of course.
Get the you got to get the full things going. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Is there anything else you want to share?
No, I feel like we had a really well-rounded discussion today.
I feel like I think we've done well and covered a good array of subjects and got some good content.
Yeah, I really appreciate I appreciate you making me feel seen and heard and respected, and just having me here today. It means a lot. So I really appreciate you, and I love what you're doing. It's incredible, and I'm inspired by you. So
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm very inspired by you. You're just an inspirational woman. And I'm it's an honor to have you on. So
thank you.
All right. This is chapter 11 with Analisa Martin. I'm Bobby J, and this is the City Chapters Podcast. I give you advice, they give you a price. If you paid attention, you'll see what I'm kicking. I'm wasting your money by saying it twice. Shit is a game, you wanna complain, you blaming your L's on the dice. Mama just whipped up the cobbler, so I had to call it a reserve a slice. Whole fam gotta eat, closed mouth don't get fed. So all I had to do is speak. Now